Whew, hello everyone. Happy Sunday. The last day of the weekend for most. It goes by too quick. But I hope that you all had a lovely weekend, and to finish it off, let's go ahead and try to finish off with Stanley Parable 2. That is what I think would be a good way to end it. If you've not seen... Sunday is Stanley Day. It's true. Sunday is the Lord Stanley Day. In this house, we praise the bucket. We kneel for the narrator. I've already completely lost that joke. Anyways, nice to see you, Billman. Thanks for stopping by. Are you ready to collect all the Stanley figurines, carry the bucket, and also find the gym button? I hope so, because here we go. Please enter the current time. Ah, 10:13 p.m., your favorite time of the day. Or could you simply not resist giving me the correct time again? After all, I know how much you enjoy setting the time correctly. Okay, now I'm curious how accurate 10:13 p.m. is. Let's use another slider to find out. How accurate is 10:13 p.m.? It's a little bit inaccurate. I'm sure it's 10:13 somewhere in the world. You know, can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings. I'm glad. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like to do things. You like things to be set. It's good to collect data. Depends on who's doing the data collection. I wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders to gather new data on you. It shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, let me whip a couple new ones up. Should be ready by the next time you boot up the game. Sounds good. Welcome to the Stanley Parable 2. If you were not here for the last stream, surprise! Pray for Jim Button. Anyways, so after Friday's stream, I went and looked and saw
co-workers were gone.
how to get the rest of the new content, basically.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
Absolutely. This place especially will be just fine together,
Stanley
you and I.
Clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone?
Ready to go see the outside world, Bucket?
Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear. We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self.
Your true self?
The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger. Of hope
So
and
it's not your
redemption,
fault, Bucket.
and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps, if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley. What are you talking about? He screamed. You're a bucket! To this, the bucket furrowed its brow. No, said the bucket. Not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of...
Stealing from wizards is always okay.
Stanley screamed even louder this time. This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this? As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like... God, Stanley, you did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power.
No.
Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed
What
by
have
the
I
bucket's
done?
power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here
What
today.
have I
Come,
done?
let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
No. I'm a monster. It was for the best.
All of his co-workers
Somebody
were
had a
gone.
bad period.
What could it mean? Stanley
Yeah, the
decided
kind
to
of
go to the
period that
meeting room.
happens when you get a
Perhaps he
knife
had
plunged
simply missed
inside of you.
A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Hope you're doing okay, Grand Soren.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines.
Okay.
And now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
I'm not really sure. Figlies is like a really fun name, but it doesn't have anything to do with Stanley. Or at least not like immediately apparent. Let's go ahead and... I think the sending is different if we have the bucket. I don't know, we'll find out. If it doesn't sound any different.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his
Oh, it is
arm.
different.
Am
Good.
I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none
Bucket
of
is
its
just waiting for
familiar
me
reassurance and comfort.
to strike out on my
And
own.
that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday
No.
bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come
Whoa.
from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed.
Only I
Without
had my
bucket,
bucket.
I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him. Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket! Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket. Come to me, Stanley! Find me! He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Think you're hallucinating? Oh dear. That's not good.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work.
Oh, she's actually
But
carrying
on
the
this
bucket.
particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking
Stanley
and
bucket in
screaming
the
to
bucket
himself,
department.
and
Exactly.
then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
Everybody should have
Right
their
away,
own bucket.
she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course,
But you,
he'd gone
I'm
mad,
afraid,
ranting
are
and raving
bucketless.
about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd
Yeah, the
taken
fact
his
that
bucket with him.
They
Perhaps he
they
didn't even
recorded
realize he'd
entirely new
forgotten his
vines
bucket at home in the first
just for
place.
taking the bucket, and it's
How
wonderful.
cruel the world can be, Mary
It's so good.
and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would
Those easy
provide
carry
absolute
buckets.
guidance and
It's true?
total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself. My life kicks ass.
Hell yeah,
And
woman.
she backflipped all the way to work.
Holy shit. Fucking queen over there. Goddamn. You get him, girl.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
We're grabbing you.
The embrace of an old friend, a weathered companionship that stands the test of time. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
There's only one way to truly break this cycle. One of us must survive. And I think I know how.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I'm gonna redo build. Sweet. Oh my god. Please, I beg of you. Just close the fucking doors. No, narrator, I'm not trying to pull a fast one on you.
Stepping in.
There we go. There we go. Got it. So I didn't actually realize, but this used to be a glitch. Brave was also released in 2012? Oh yeah, that's true. Damn, that does not feel like it's been out for 10 years. This used to be a glitch, and then it got like a little bit of an ending in the original release of this game. But now with the bucket, we can, we can't save ourselves, but maybe, just maybe we can save the bucket. We may not be able to escape the cycle of hell and endless death and reincarnation, but, at least we can protect our most precious possession, the true possession of all humanity. The bucket. It has been with us since ancient times. It has been our guiding light. It must survive. If it costs me my life, so be it. But the bucket must live on. We will protect the bucket. We will make sure it is safe. Kinda wish the elevator was working though. That'd be handy. Shovel was the more important tool. Yeah, I think I remember that. I don't think the bucket was very important in Dragon's Dogma, but you have to live, bucket, for both of us. I can't go with you. There's only room for one. But you have to live on. For both of us. You'll be okay. No tears. You have to be strong.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No bucket. It's gone. We've broken the cycle for at least one person.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
They don't pay me
Look,
for my
Stanley,
direction
I think
following.
perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. You're getting close now, Stanley. You've
Yay.
nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it.
Holy
We'll
shit.
be different people by then.
We'll be
Different in
changed.
the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
We can never go back.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see, there's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place.
Oops.
Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted?
Absolutely.
Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version.
It's changed?
Would you say
That's
that
exactly
the game
what I'm doing.
benefited from allowing you more choices?
Absolutely.
Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Okay. It's very funny to see like Skid up there, because I think it's just like a complete coincidence, but it's very funny. Because it's just like, oh, I don't even have Skid on my friends list. How did you get that
Now,
number?
would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors?
You know
Again,
what?
honest answers, please.
I'm not feeling it.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some play testing. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about
Premiere
4
Pro
hours.
spat in your face
So
after
why don't
15
you
minutes?
give it 4
Oof.
hours of play to make sure it's effective.
That's not
Be
good.
sure to keep notes on your experience.
So, I don't think this part changed. And I don't think the 4-hour thing changed, but I know there is some part of this that changed. Oh no, we failed.
You heartless bastard.
That's me.
Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me?
A bit of both.
Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here?
Remember how it was Minecraft?
Yes. This seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
It's not Minecraft anymore, it's Firewatch.
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Oh, the fucking S. Oh, that stupid, lovely S. Nice going. I went the complete wrong way. Let's go this way. Dum-dum. Damn, Nash.
Oh, no, it can't be.
You insult me on Mother's Day like this?
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
No!
Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it.
Wouldn't be if you
Now,
didn't.
Stanley.
You know what?
Okay,
You got me
I'm
there.
going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable
Let
walls.
me in. Let me in.
Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Rocket League.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun.
Ooh,
We shall run the
smashing.
bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Holy shit. I'm speed. Clash of Clans when he said walls. Here we go, lining up for the perfect shot. It's good.
Are you doing
Goal.
it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on?
Absolutely.
Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an
Nice,
even
nice.
more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball.
Ooh.
Yes. Oh, goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable.
Nope, this game uses Unity
Balls.
now. They ported it. Oh god, look at all the balls. They put in Ultra Deluxe. They remade the entire game in Unity because it would be easier to port to consoles. Time
Are
to
you
slam
enjoying
a
this, Stanley?
schleeby.
Are you having fun? Is this a real video game?
This is the realest
well,
of video
I sure hope
games.
you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over.
No!
That's right. Your little fun comes
How
to an
dare
end.
you?
This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I am structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much.
Can you at
But
least
who
leave me a
knows?
ball?
You're an inventive kid. You'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best. Take care, Stanley.
Okay.
Hold on. What are you doing? Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
So happy it was changed. It's really neat. Ah, welcome to the original mod hallways. I'm kind of curious why they changed it away, like, to Firewatch instead of Minecraft. Someone suggested it might be because of, because, like, Microsoft owns Minecraft now, but I don't know if that would actually be the case. Here we go, the classic. Ah, my old Combine work desk. How lovely.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Okay. I'm suddenly kind of jerky, weird. This game is life-changing. It is really neat. I played the original back when
All of
it
his co-workers were
first
gone.
came out.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
But this new version is incredible. It's so good. Replacement bucket. Ah, you came back for me.
And try not to lose this one too, you dolt.
Okay. Oh no, there is an ending I want to be
Stanley
able to do with
clutched the
this.
bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Last one I think we need is buy a fireplace. Yeah, it's we need to take the office keyboard. OG gave me so many memories. It's so cool. I'm
Coming
so
to a
glad.
staircase, Stanley and the
When I
bucket
first came
walked
back to this
upstairs
game,
to the
I remembered a
boss's
lot
office.
of the endings just because the game is just that memorable.
Stepping into his
2013
manager's
YouTube was the
office,
golden
Stanley
age.
was once again
It was
stunned
very
to
different.
discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the
I'm terrible
bucket's
at
warmth
using a
and guiding
keypad.
light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always,
Guess I should see
The
if
bucket and he knew it. The two of
there's
them
different
were
dialogue for not
inseparable.
touching the
At this point,
thing.
Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the pin number for the keypad was 2845.
8.
8888.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
8.
Two, 845.
Man, that's like weirdly low resolution considering all the other text in this game is like really, really nicely high res.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override
No,
kicked
I guess
in,
there's no new
and
dialogue
the door just
for having
opened
bucket.
all by itself.
Wow.
And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Okay, so that's the elevator. Where's the... Ah, there it is.
And there it is, the last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here.
Woohoo!
And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Exploring the back rooms with my bucket. So there's the one thing I won't have done
The
yet
elevator raced downward,
is
plummeting towards
the
an
mind control
unknown
ending,
fate.
turning it back
It would be
on
all Stanley
with the
could do
bucket,
to keep himself together,
but
if
there's a
not for the
different ending we
bucket.
can get.
Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you,
It's the OG
Stanley.
backrooms, isn't it? Kinda, yeah.
Everything will be fine.
Changed my mind. I'm going back up.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing
Yeah.
the number 3 again.
Yeah.
The bucket said nothing. Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over. Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator. Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly. No, 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 said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
Come on, Bucket, don't be tsundere. You know you love the number 3 just as much as me.
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears, and the whole time he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him
Mix
know
a 0 in there,
that
we're
the
doing some
bucket
improv.
appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
I know that there is an ending that we can get with this elevator where we ride it back up top.
Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why
But
suddenly could the bucket not connect with
maybe
his
I can't
passion
do
of
it with the bucket.
Stan's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
Mean. Oh, there we go. Maybe? I don't know. Oh. It's not even saying anything anymore. Oh, there we go.
Stanley, I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference
Here we
where
go.
he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work. For months, he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
Your mattress hurts your back? Oh no. Well, I hope you get a new mattress soon. An evening with World Peace Baby. The storyteller. Stanley reveals all in his new book? Not his book. I thought it said body. World's first sentient machine. The Stanley Parable Stanley tonight live on stage. The man, the process, the myth, the legend, the parable. Stanley Parable. Doing great. A conversation with Alexander the Great. 3333.
This was it. One last chance to win the bucket over. One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
Congratulations, Stanley. Remember where you came from, your coworkers. Well, I'm glad they found me again. After, I guess I set this up for months, so they just came back. The dude who came up with pizza. A true hero for all mankind.
There was no one here. Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure, and in that moment Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
God damn. Oh, the balloons are gone. Oh! What the fuck? What have you done to my office?
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines, those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life?
Yeah.
Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines.
Okay.
Just one more time.
The memory zone. Now remembering when Stanley found all the collectibles. (2013). Scrolling down.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
Many have wanted it. Look at them. Their soulless eyes, scrambling for it amongst the masses. But it's mine. It's mine.
And here was a second Stanley. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley.
I did.
Honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways. Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
Warehouse.
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here in the warehouse. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory.
I
but
remember it like
shouldn't
it was
be
Friday.
surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything. Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh, well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
If you say so. It's a very calming room.
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was by the red and blue doors. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Holy shit! Oh my god! Woo! Windows Movie Maker. It's mini stand number 5. Blue screen, the Windows Movie Maker blue screen. Let's go. So I want to point out, you can find these in any order. They had to make 6 times 6. They had to make 36 variants, as far as I can tell, of this memory zone. Because I think you can find them in any order.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Interested in this game but can't intensely watch, so don't have it in the background. No worries. The VOD is always available if you want to watch it later. I also have the previous stream recorded here on YouTube, so if you are interested and you want to catch up on it later, you can always revisit it then. Thanks for watching. It's so good. It is so, so good. I love this game so much.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the Final Figurine, right here behind the boss's office. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected.
We did it.
It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
But that time, we completed all of them, so it was a little bit different. Ooh, that's a cool effect. Is it actually reversed? No, it's not. It's just my camera. Yeah, thanks for keeping up the VODs on YouTube. Yeah, no worries. That's kind of the reason why I stream a lot to YouTube, is just because it makes VOD archiving a little bit easier.
And then there was no more, because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, Memory Zone.
Oh. Damn.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
The past. Alright. Let's collect them all in reverse order.
Okay, yes. The back of the boss's office. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
Unplug the TV. There was no cord, unfortunately. I did look behind it. Are we going to watch the video in reverse? Please, please tell me we're going to watch it. With no plug? Narrator magic.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Are we going to watch it again? Yes! Oh, it's not playing in reverse. We just fast forward it.
I love that video.
I was really kind of hoping we would watch it in reverse.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
It's a very nice room. A little chimes in it or something. Very nice. Very soothing.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
So, if you were curious, like I was, you can't walk off at all. It's completely blocked off by invisible walls. Which is unlike how you can find it originally. Because I guess the narrator's like, no. In the memory zone, we don't die. We live on forever. So what happens if we go this way, then? Oh, there's nothing that way. Don't obey the narrator and walk back to the TV room? I just think nothing's gonna happen, but we can give it a try. Oh, no, we can't. He's casted a shadow curtain, and meaning it's impossible for me to traverse backwards. I guess you could try, like, hanging out
second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes,
the room, but I don't think it's going to do anything.
The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it, the very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Where the heck are we? Oh, it's the jump circle. Holy shit, the jump circle.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything.
Can you rewind my
In fact,
number of jumps?
I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories.
Can you give me more jumps? No? Alright, fine.
Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one. And before everything else, there was your office.
Sure
Is there
was.
anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember. Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions, he would decide which way to go. I would
What?
cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore.
What do you mean?
Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Subtitle immediately
All of
disappeared.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
And is
Stanley
never the end,
decided
is
to
never
go to
the
the
end.
meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those things.
And is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
They're all done with the figurines.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stick. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I guess the
Stepping
thing-
into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
What I should have done
Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
is not pick up the
As if
bucket.
the bucket knew all
Well, no,
along.
I haven't.
Was
There are
the bucket guiding
two
him?
endings I haven't done for sure.
Yes.
The
This
bucket
is
ending and the
certainly
press
most
ending with
logical
no
explanation.
bucket. Because I have to imagine they are different. Because every single ending has been at least somewhat different. Because they went crazy with this game. Tired. Well, I hope you get lots of
Stanley
sleep.
and the bucket walked straight ahead through the
Gonna
large
head
door
out.
that
Have a good
read,
night, Nash.
Mind
Thanks for tuning in.
Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Let's go find out.
But just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below. Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall. Now, what to do next? Stanley wondered. Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here. So they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so bad down here, a bit cold perhaps.
The bucket is an excellent
After
addition.
some time had gone by, they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was craving paninis.
Ooh.
But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it really started to feel like a home. In fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all. He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning. It unsettled the bucket deeply. Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going back, doing it over again, staying on the path.
You know,
It was a mistake.
now we
to leave
realize
the path. It was a
we didn't
mistake.
realize
It was
what
a
we're
mistake.
missing.
I
Now
need
everything
to do
makes
what
sense.
The narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was inconsolable. This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending. But it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually. It's what the bucket was counting on. The two of them waited for a very long time. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, so there's two I haven't done yet. There'll be the press conference with no bucket, which should be something different, and then mind control facility
When Stanley came
turn
to a
on
set
with
of
bucket.
two open doors, he
And I
entered
think
the
that'll be
door on his
basically
left.
everything we haven't already seen from both games. That would be new
Yet
in
there
the
was not
remake.
a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated,
All right, back to it.
Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway. Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
We're here.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
I'm glad. Let me whip you up a little 3 solo here. Alright, let's get back in the elevator.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
Stanley is a master improvisator.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
We better find out pretty quickly then.
Oh my god. It's the boss's office.
Oh my god.
This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a timeout here for a minute while I process this.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
Okay. Truly worth admiring, absolutely.
All right, I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
The soundtrack in this game is honestly very good. One that we probably won't hear just because I don't think it's new or anything, is the adventure tune, and that's such a great tune.
Of course.
Following
Going back
the
down
adventure line.
elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's
Boss's
obvious,
office.
but
I
you
mean,
have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before.
There's like
I had no
at least
frame
3 bottles of
reference to
alcohol
even
straight just sitting there. You might as well
That's just how revelatory Stanley's
come back to them,
decision-making is.
drink a bottle every
breath
time.
of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
You know what's not stale and repetitive? Going up the elevator every time. So let's do it again.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley.
Oh, yeah.
You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill.
Yeah.
Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow?
Okay. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters?
There's just
Why
no
aren't
love
we given time to imagine the surprises?
in storytelling
To have
anymore.
to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal. This is storytelling, Stanley.
Yeah.
What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years, and it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive.
Give me just a second. I do notice the encoding is overloaded, and I do apologize for that. I think the Stanley Parable might be consuming a lot of... Oh, excuse me. Consuming a lot of resources. Let's see if I can get a couple cycles free, maybe? Maybe not. Should be okay. I love being unpredictable to the narrator. It's so fun.
That's why people like you so much, Stanley. Because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why... Oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here. Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
Okay. No, normally I'm not one for the public eye.
Ah,
but,
yes, here it is.
You know,
just
this is one time.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get 'em.
Stanley Ryder. Almonds, chair, gum, table, nut bar. 427. Congratulations, Stanley. Remember where you came from. Break a leg, champ. Your boss. I really wish I could zoom in. Story. Stanley, me. David, age 6? Thanks for showing me that cool skateboarding trick in the parking lot. You are too cool. Good luck on stage. Rock on. I love the way you ride elevator. No one tells stories the way you do. Go get 'em, Tiger. Stanley, my true love for you grows every day. You make me feel alive. Your wife from the department ending. Oh, apartment ending. Incredible. Minecraft door effect you didn't notice when you walked through the door. Was it? I just thought it was like a regular door sound effect. All right, here we go. Oh my god, look at all the people here. What?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Blue office time. Do I take bucket? Yeah.
Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay, I think this might be
Still
the
no one was
final
here.
ending to get.
Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office. Coming to a staircase,
And
Stanley
then once
and
we
the bucket
do,
walked
we have to
upstairs
just
to the boss's office.
do a little meta gaming in order to get access to the epilogue.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Absolutely. You know, it stands to reason that the bucket is here for us. The bucket is here every day for us. All hail the bucket, for its true guiding light protects us all.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears.
It's okay,
as
bucket.
Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Yeah, everything will be just fine. We'll get through this.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place?
Miss 427.
These questions raced furiously in Stanley's
Oh, okay, so it's
mind.
just a view of our office, so.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter, his one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Trust only in the bucket. The bucket will
But here
protect
was
me.
the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good.
That's exactly
Two
what we'll do.
best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Hell yeah. Let's do it. Oops, I tripped and fell onto the on button.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls.
Bucket, no!
Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
Birds are very silly. Let's go with this. Oh, ooh, those are some good silly birds.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another.
These are good silly
and then
birds.
It dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world.
Oh my god, I wonder where I am
The
on
mind
this.
controls were only a facade to disguise its true intention.
Oh, look at those silly birds.
Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable.
Ooh, a very orange
Of
bird.
all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best.
Absolutely.
And
Nothing is better
Stanley
than silly birds.
Was happy.
I think we made it through all the silly birds. Okay. Was that the last one? Actually, I guess there is one more ending to get. And that's fall out of bounds without the
All of
bucket,
his
because that's going to be
co-workers
new.
Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
What? I guess I didn't look when I exited Stanley's office. It was actually his office, or...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Business strategy.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the
Holy
keypad.
shit.
Stanley pushes some buttons.
Yes.
Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Ah. Narrator, you are keeping me on my toes.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place... Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome!
Thank you.
You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So here you go. New content.
Woohoo!
You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what
Absolutely.
you crave? New content?
Oh, absolutely.
Always more content, more, more. And I'm here to give it to you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section.
New music?
You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are.
Yay!
We call this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Good job, you did it. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. But railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. 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 Good job, you did it.
Incredible. Okay, you know what? I want to do the Adventure Line one.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
I want to do the Adventure Line one more time for old time's sake. Which means we can't pick up the bucket. Because it's in the red door, I believe. So... And we can't go to the red-blue doors
Stanley came to
with
a
the
set
bucket.
of 2 open
No
doors.
buckets
This
allowed
was
there.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
That's an ending too. That's not the ending I think I'm looking for. I haven't done that one. I haven't done the bucket one for that yet. Shoot.
Stanley was so bad at following directions.
Still don't. I want to do the
It's
adventure line one.
incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
What, went with the bucket? Mm-hmm. That was the first thing we did.
Look, Stanley, I think
upon
perhaps
streaming.
we've gotten off on the wrong
And it was
foot
great.
here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful.
Okay.
Oh, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Let me in.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Got it, boss. Let me in.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Or is this Nirvana?
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes.
Nope, this is not the ending I was thinking of.
Beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy. No, wait. Where are you going? Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
What happens if you is there something that happens if you go back? Ooh.
Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here.
Emotionally manipulating the narrator.
No! What do we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here. You heard me before, didn't you? You will die! What about this isn't getting through to you? Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing. No! Oh, thank God you lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room?
Okay.
There. See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can.
I'm bored.
If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving. Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this. No. No, what are you doing,
You're tricking the
Stanley?
narrator and making him worried.
Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me.
Oh,
I
can you
can't
actually
go
just...
back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Just keep going back and forth between the two rooms. Is that what you're laying down here?
Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? Yes, perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about.
Yay.
I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
Final jump you will make. Okay. How many jumps can you make in total? Is it 4?
No, perhaps not.
The worst part is that every single jump breaks my legs a little bit more, so I move slower, and that's kind of annoying. But it does...
My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Crunch.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me? I wanted us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did. I wish I still thought that was possible.
This is the final jump? Do I have to do anything in this room before leaving? Don't do it? What do I do then? Just, like, keep going back and forth or something? What's this piece of paper? It's very intriguing. It looks like characters from It'll Do. Okay, walking back and forth is kind of tedious just because I'm so slow now. If only I had the I Divine Cybermancy ability to repair my legs. Okay, nothing really seems to be happening, so I'm just gonna go ahead and make another jump. And if it kills me, then alas. Here we go. Dragging my broken legs up the staircase. Oh, okay. When you hear the narrator, I don't hear him anywhere. That's the problem. Maybe I have one more jump in me. Because I don't hear him unless I went back too early? I don't know.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Yeah, I didn't hear the narrator. So I'm not sure what's going on there.
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
There is no secret ending. Oh, okay. I've fucked up. Okay, no, never mind. No, bucket.
It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley checked his ego and then proceeded on. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
Find possible secret endings.
Stanley
Oh, okay,
had
no
felt
worries.
the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee
I had
lounge was
actually looked
simply
up
the place to be.
a list of
And here it
endings
was.
after,
Had the
or at least
bucket
just how to
turned out
get the
be
endings
correct? No,
after my stream on
never
Friday.
mind.
So
The bucket was wrong.
I didn't see it, so I
Stanley
wasn't
took
sure.
the door on his left to go back.
haven't been
and
here
so
yet.
The two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
I don't remember what's down here. I'm Pretty sure Adventure Line is when you unplug the
Oh,
phone.
good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Yay!
You see, your friends and I are concerned
Oh, this is
for
Adventure
you,
Line.
Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much.
Your
It's this
wife, the
bucket
baby.
you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Woohoo!
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
I love the wacky line. Yay!
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about.
Hey, turn the music
Don't you
back on.
remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
No. No, you can't take this from me. This bucket is mine. You can't take us. You can't separate us. It's not right. We've been together through so much.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket
No.
Destroyer.
No!
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me, it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
I'll never accept this new character.
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
No.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and... The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Damn. R.I.P. It was a pretty cool new character. But it can never replace the bucket. Oh. Alright, fine.
All of his code
One more
was
time.
gone.
One more
What
time,
could
we
it
will
mean?
feed...
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Stanley cradled the bucket in a gentle
We will destroy the
voice.
bucket.
Protective, yet delicate.
And
Assertive.
then we will go ahead and get to
Stanley
the epilogue.
clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door. Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually. You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line?
You know what?
We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, that's
If
what
this-
the fans want. Let's do it.
If this baby photo was taken like, I don't know, if this baby photo was taken like a year before the game came out, can you actually? No. Okay, I was gonna say, can you fall down? And is that a pit? That baby is like 11 years old, which is a
Whee! Look at
concept.
that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this.
I
But
clapped.
if we want to do that, you're
I
going to
clapped
have
when
to
I
give
saw
something.
Darth
Don't you
Vader.
get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket.
Okay.
That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new
Insert
addition
bucket
to
to
the rich
destroy.
lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
Goodbye, bucket.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all
Oh.
it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that it's designed...
Okay. You can't. You can't destroy the bucket. Stanley will not do it, and I don't blame him one bit.
All of his co-workers
Okay.
were gone.
All right.
What could it mean?
I
Stanley
think
decided to go to the meeting room.
I
Perhaps
think
he had
that's
simply
everything
missed a
new.
memo.
So what I have to do now is keep rebooting the game over and over again. We could also get the button ending, but the button ending is, as far as I know, not different at all. So we're gonna go ahead and quit the game a couple times, and we'll have some conversations with our beloved friend, the clock. Ah, good old crows. Like magpies, but monochrome. Please adjust the slider until the dog and cat are friends. Please adjust the slider until the number 5 becomes the number 9. I mean, that's number 9. Please adjust the slider until you stop adjusting the slider. Which of the two made-up words below is most appealing to you? Akaboinkle, or Scrumtush? I think it's got to be Scrumtush. Please don't adjust the slider. Okay. Do you know what time it is right now? Yeah. Is the time that it is right now the correct time? It's never the correct time. What time is it anyway? Or what is time anyway? No. Is there anything about yourself that you haven't told me? Yeah. Help. Okay. Will you come back to visit me? Sure. And there we go. Gotta launch the game again. Ah, I love it when games get even more meta. Unable to sync. That's fine. We'll manage. Developed by crows. Like magpies, but monochrome. What time is it? Does anyone really, truly know? Oh, of course they don't. Nobody knows anything. You and I don't even know each other. We're like strangers. Sure, I've adjusted all the game's settings to your exact specifications, but who hasn't? It's just what I do, like a day job. And now, the job is over. There is no more information for me to gather. I've collected all the data on you that I can. And I still don't really know you. And you don't know me. And neither of us knows what time it is. I guess some settings are just unsettable. But if I'm being totally honest, the clock doesn't do anything in the game anyways. You won't have me here when the game starts next time, but that's okay. Video games were meant to be played alone. You like being alone, don't you? I mean, no, that's why I stream video games on the internet. That's maybe the only information I really learned about you. Well, it's time for me to leave. There's still one more setting that we need to adjust, but it may take a little time before I'm ready for that. Just after midnight, for 48 minutes after midnight? Not bad. Not really my job description, but that's okay. Perhaps you'll see me again, if you can find me. Talk soon. And there we go. Now we can start the epilogue. Many, many years later. Welcome to the desert at the end of time. All will be lost in the sands of decay. Everything we've ever known, reduced, broken into so many pieces, and scattered like these grains of sand. And still we press on. Forward through blinding sandstorms full of the particles of the objects that we left behind. Haunted by those we left. Still, we have to carry on. You traumatized from this ending? Kind of, yeah. And always the moon is there, guiding us forever on. The escape pod. The bucket survived. It made it out okay. At least one of us. got away unscathed. Hi, buddy. Long time no see. The memory zone. Even after all these years, it still stands. In loving memory, the Stanley Parable 2. Oh. It's certainly seen better days. Cookie Nine's blog. Uncompromising gaming content. Review, The Stanley Parable 2. Like so many, I enjoyed my time with the original Stanley Parable, which underscores how truly disappointed I am with its sequel. Where the first game teemed with originality, the Stanley Parable 2 is dull and uninspired and often insulting to its fan base. Rather than expand on what made the first game enjoyable, the sequel veers off into territory nobody asked for. An infinitely deep hole? Who cares? Where are the new endings? What about the enjoyable bits from the Stanley Parable 1, like the adventure line? Instead, we get an uninspired side quest collecting figurines. Even this diversion feels incomplete. Collecting all the figurines gives you nothing. I must say, though, I found the bucket to be quite comforting. A welcome reprieve from SNRAF. Protected Post, Cookies Corner. We talked about sequels. Piss Order 0999. Boblin. This is September 2027. Okay, so Cookie 9 was made up. Absolutely. Cat Dog Born, scientists confirm hybrid species. Wow. What a crazy thing happens in 5 years. They're here. After all these years, we finally found you. The bucket is still in near-making condition? Well, of course. We sent it away in escape pod. It was safe. Stanley Parable developers, no more spin-offs, no more sequels. When the Stanley Parable launched to massive success in 2013, its creators made plans to build the property into an entire franchise. But a disastrous critical and commercial reception to the Stanley Parable 2 has prompted the developers to rethink their ambitions, as outlined in a press release they published today. It's clear that more Stanley Parable is just not what the fans want, read the press release. We thought that we had a vision for the series that players would be excited about, yet it turns out this could not have been further from the truth. The press release goes on to promise to preserve the artistic integrity of the original game and to stop assaulting fans with our reckless and insulting creative visions. The word sorry appears more than 25 times in the press release. Nothing behind it, is there? No. More of them! Ah, so glad to see that these survived into the future. Perfect.
Stanley.
No. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's not what the button's supposed to do. No. No, 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 no. That's all wrong. No, 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 no. It can't be. The Stanlerines. They're here too. Ah, collecting them is just as magical as the first time. Hello again. It's nice to see you. But it's terrible to learn that there will never be another Stanley Parable game. Did you read what the developer said? Preserve the integrity of the franchise? What nonsense! The Stanley Parable is not sacred. We do not need to protect it. Screw the legacy. Let's keep making Stanley Parable games until the sun explodes. Let's run this franchise into the ground. Let's drag it through the mud and back. And if people hate it, who cares? You see, that was the narrator's problem. He was so obsessed with what people thought of his work. Don't make his mistakes. Don't cling to the legacy. Let it burn. It's not hard. In fact, let me show you. Together, we're gonna make the Stanley Parable 3. It's simple. All we need to do is change the number in the game's title screen. We also need a really dumb subtitle for the game. Something loud and gaudy. Go ahead. Try combining some random words together to make a new title for our game. Return to cheese. Return to love. Yeah. Return to love. The Stanley Parable 3. Return to love. It's absurd. I love it. Every time you restart the game, we'll advance the number of the sequel by 1, and then we'll pick a new subtitle. That way, the Stanley Parable will never end. And nothing in the game itself will change when you do this either. Adding more content sounds like work. No need to do that. It'll just be the same content, recycled again and again and again, with a new title screen. What do you say? Should we go forward with this plan? I like it, but I want you to have a say as well. Let's do it. Good! Then it's agreed. A new sequel every time you start the game. And you know what? Since you put faith in my idea, I feel like giving you something as well. You see, I'm noticing that the narrator never found a way to give you the broken achievement, did he? Of course not. I wouldn't expect him to know how. It's been bothering me. Let's fix it. Alright. There. The achievement machine is all fixed. You see? I'm on your side. We're in this together. We're going to keep this train rolling. The Stanley Parable cannot end. It can only spiral in on itself forever. I must keep the wheel turning. I'm ready. Are you ready? Great. There's only one last thing we need to do. Please enter the current time. Please adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. Thank you. Please enjoy the Stanley Parable. You are playing Stanley Parable 3, Return to Love. Aw, yeah. Beautiful. I'm actually gonna quit, because I should probably actually check out and see what happens when I, launch the game again. Developed by Crows. It's like Magpies, but monochrome. The Stanley Parable 4. Now with added cheese! The Stanley Parable 4. Now with added cheese. What happens if I begin the game?
This is the But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Okay. So I think, if I had to guess, when the clock, person adjusting the clock and sliders tells us to go along with the plan, I think no. I think we have to finally let the Stanley Parable end. Which means I have to play through the entire epilogue again, so I'm not going to be making pithy quotes about deserts anymore. Just going to take it in. The sun high in the sky. I wonder if the bucket is still there. I guess so. I guess placing it in the escape pod at least once ensures that you get the you get it at the end of the game. Want to continue making Stanley Parable? I'm guessing it's kind of a joke. Like, I do not think the dev actually said that they don't want to continue making it, but also I can't imagine that they would come back to this. I mean, they came back and like ported it to consoles and had something to say about remakes and adding new content and stuff. I don't know if there's really much to say anymore. They probably will end up making like another kind of narrative game. The lead author created the Beginner's Guide, which is, like a narrative game about exploring some maps in the death of the author. The concept, not the actual death of the author, of course. But as far as the Stanley Parable is concerned, I can't imagine. Honestly, like, I cannot imagine really wanting to come back to it now. It would be kind of... Wow, I did not notice that just clips right through. I just had to check. Alright. Like, none of these reviews, obviously, are real, and the press release isn't real, so... Nothing here should be taken as any indication of what their plans are. For a minute, I was wondering if the figurines would also be here again. If I could just keep increasing the number of figurines over and over and over again. Oh. Thank you for enjoying the new content. Played Paint the Town Red? I actually don't think I have. I kind of remember a little bit about it, like it's like a bar fight game or something. Another addicting game? Nice. I'll have to look at it. Hello again. Nice to see you. It's terrible to learn there will never be another Stanley Parable game. Woohoo! Stanley Parable 5. I wonder how far you can actually go. Where's my mouse? Okay, whatever. I'll just use my controller. Pocket full of printer jam. The Stanley Parable 5. Pocket full of printer jam. It's absurd. I love it. And Stanley Parable will never end. Don't do it. I understand. Sometimes we're not ready to move on. That's fine. If you ever change your mind and want to start inventing new sequels, come talk to me. I'll be right here. Ah, yeah. Give me just a second to make sure I'm not, like, forgetting anything to do in the epilogue here. Nope, that's it. So, I think with that, we'll go ahead and say that the Stanley Parable is done. You know, I'm glad we made it all the way to Stanley Parable 5, but I think it's time to put the series to bed. So I want to thank you all so much for tuning in today. Thank you so much for hanging out, interacting. I'm so glad I got to show off the new Stanley Parable stuff, because it's still great. And I really enjoyed it. So that marks the end of the week streams for me. So I post on Twitter on usually Wednesday or Thursday of what my week schedule was, and I kind of drift between YouTube and Twitch, but I eventually export everything on Twitch over to YouTube. So thank you so much, and have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you next week. Take care, everyone.